Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So it's that time again. It is time for our weekly reading review, or what we like to call our 1 minute book recs. So we will be going over all the books that we read this past week with 1 minute reviews of each book. So let's get started. But before we get started,
make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can be entered into our Road to 1K giveaway. When we reach 500 subscribers, we will be giving away this dark romance scent stack full of goodies along with Twisted Love. You can check out our other videos for our announcement video to learn all about what exactly is in that bag, but it is full of awesome swag. You can also get an extra entry by following us on Instagram.
Yes. All right. So Mandy spent the week in Legoland.
I wasn't in Legoland for the week.
So for half the
so dramatic.
She still deserted
4
me.
days, people. I went for 4 days.
No, you deserted me again. Although I am leaving.
And one of those, like, 4 total days. Like, first day flying and traveling there, then like 2 days of Legoland, and then I flew home. And guess how many times somebody called me, texted me, Marco Polo'd me.
Who was I going to talk to about my books? But in all fairness, I will be gone and off grid.
Yeah.
For 3.5, 4 days this week. So
I am standing in line to ride the Disco Kitty. Having to listen to you tell me about this book that I just have to read.
And you did.
I did.
And we will talk about it.
We will.
Okay, so how many books did you read? How was your reading week, though, being gone?
My reading week was pretty good. I had all 4s with a couple of 5s and a favorite. So everything was at least a 4-star read. I just counted and forgot already. I read 7 books.
Whew. Okay. That's good. Okay, so I had a couple of 5s. Sorry. Why am I apologizing for your coughing? Okay. I had a couple of 5s.
You were so bossy that you apologized for me now.
Apparently so.
Would you like to tell the people how I felt about my books too?
Yes. Yes, I would. I don't even know. I know a couple of the books you read.
Yeah, you do actually.
I do.
You know 3 of them.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I know how you felt about 2 of them.
Oh, wait. Actually, you only know 2 of them because that other one you said you never read, which is super disappointing. And we will discuss that.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Wow.
Oh, he's bossy.
All right. Okay. So I read 9. I read 9 books this week, but one was a trilogy. So we're only going to talk about 6. And one of those books you and I both read. So we'll talk about that together.
Okay.
I am ready to talk about my first book. You got that timer ready?
Yep. Go.
Okay, let's do this. Go. Okay. So the first book I read is Devious Obsession by S. Massery. This is the second book in her Hockey Gods series. So this one is about Steele and Aspen. So this is a dark bully hockey romance. I talked about the first one when I read that a couple of months ago. Steele and Aspen are actually step siblings. They're in college and their parents get married over the summer and they don't know who each other are. They go to a party and at this party things get a little wild and they end up he chases her through the woods and has sex with her because that's the thing that they like to do. This is a definite hate to love situation. They have all the hate sex. There is some crazy stuff that happens in this book. She goes to college because Steele's father pays for her college if she will inform on him. There's a stalker situation that's not, he's a stalker, but yet there's another one. There's bad stuff happening throughout this book. Definitely check triggers. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. I liked the first one better. I still liked it. It was dark and crazy. I thought it went on a little bit longer than maybe it should have, but it was still good. Still go read it. It was still good.
Okay.
Dark and crazy.
That's how well, my next read is not dark or crazy.
What?
Okay. So my next read, or I guess it's my first read, right?
Mhm.
Is The Boys number one. It's number one in the Boys series. It's called Bad Boys Break Hearts, and this is by Michaela Smeltzer.
Mhm.
And it was a 4-star read for me. This is a baseball centered book, but he's a baseball player, but it doesn't have a lot of baseball like on page, if that makes sense. So we have Mason and Rory. They used to know each other when they were little, and things happened and they haven't seen each other. They're now in college, and Mason is just kind of a dick. And he runs into Rory when she is leaving, kind of doing like the walk of shame out of his roommates and also his best friend's room, Cole. And so from that point forward, Mason just kind of treats her like crap and she doesn't really understand why. And then obviously like he's treating her like crap because he kind of is a little irritated that she was with his best friend when they knew each other when they were younger. So it's sort of a little weird that he feels territorial about her, but you know, overall the book was a 4-star read. So it's great if you're looking for, I want to call it low drama. Like there's drama, but it's low drama. Does that make sense?
It's a lower angst.
So it's like that
It's not high.
college romance. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Bad boys break hearts. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. They're good on paper. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're up.
Okay. So the next book I read is the trilogy. It's the next 3 books. So this is the Santiago trilogy by Catherine Wilcher. This one is about Dante and Eve. So they meet. Eve is buying champagne to go to a party on her birthday, and Dante comes in, mask on. She thinks he's robbing the liquor store. He's not. He's getting away from a situation. He is a cartel boss. And there has been a situation that's happened down the road. And he is trying to get to the airport to his private jet without the authority figures coming after him. Like he's trying to deflect from that. And so he takes her as his hostage until he can get to the hangar. And then he leaves her there. Well, there was a kiss that happens. There's this attraction between them. He can't get her out of his mind. Her father is a DEA agent and she is a reporter. And so about 2 weeks later, her father's in an accident. She is at the hospital, but he shows up to kill her father because he's a DEA agent and that's what they're doing. There's all this crime stuff happening. And instead of killing her father, he takes her. And it's good. It's a 3-book series. I gave the whole series a 4. It's just a little insta-lovey in the beginning. It happens very quickly. But I did enjoy it while I read it. I'm really bummed that my thing came damaged. My book came damaged, but we'll get over it. So that was like the biggest bummer.
My next read is Jade West's newest book called The Man Upstairs. This is a 30-year age gap. So of course I had to jump on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is spicy, very spicy, very kink-filled. So Julian is a college professor, or he was a college professor. He's married and he has adult kids. He's in his late 40s. Rosie is 18. She's still in high school. Julian had several affairs with barely legal girls, and he likes very kinky stuff, and he likes to record, and he likes pictures, and he believes that he is just an awful person because of what he has done. So he basically has abandoned, like he just left because his family's like found out about everything. And so he's living in this rundown apartment building, and Rosie's mom gets attacked one night by her boyfriend and nobody else will help Rosie. So she runs upstairs and gets Julian. Julian saves her mom, and this is how they befriend each other. So that's how the relationship kind of starts off. There's a whisk involved. It was a solid 4-star read for me. It was very good. If you like Jade West's writing, then this would definitely be a book to read. I enjoyed it.
Jade West tends to have more spice in it than you or I tend to go for. I mean, like she has a lot of spice typically in her books. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a fairly long book and there's a lot.
Yeah.
I never was like, oh, again? I'm like, ooh, what's going to happen this time?
Well, that's good because it kept you on the edge of your seat because there were such different things, right?
Yes. It was good. Maybe it should have been more than a 4-star, but I just don't really picture myself reading it again.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So for this next one, we both read this book. So
Okay.
I don't know if you want to set a timer just to keep us in.
I'll set the timer.
I'll talk about it and then we can like talk about it for like a second afterwards.
Okay. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. So this next book is called 9 Minutes and it is by Beth Flynn. This book, guys, I'm telling you, when I tell you the prologue messed me up, I am not kidding. The prologue messed me up. So this is about a young girl who is abducted at the age of 15 and she is basically given to the president of this motorcycle club in Florida. This is in 1975 and she becomes his wife. Like he keeps her for, it was like 10 years, right, Mandy? Something like that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I mean, just all this stuff happens. There's so many twists and turns in this book. So much. I don't even know what to say. Like, what would you say? Yours book 2. It's a trilogy.
Yes.
I'm still picking my jaw off the floor. I'm still having a hard time believing that things happened in this book that happened. It is, I gave it 5 stars. It is, I thought it was amazing. I am all over it. Amazing.
I would really like you to wrap this up so I can go continue the book.
The book. Okay. So I'm calling this a favorite right now at this point.
So I marked it a 4 for right now, but when I did that, I'm like, this might be a 5-star book. But I also had started the second book and then I rated it this morning because I was on a plane when I finished it. And so I like haven't quite decided just because that prologue, like, and I'm kind of mad at some characters right now. I don't want to give anything away, but
yeah, because I'm starting the second book. Hopefully later today. It depends on if the husband's going to be in the car with me or not. There is audio for this. All I know is that when you start this book, you're going to be in one of 2 camps. You're either going to be, and I saw somebody else said this and I was like, yeah, this makes sense. You're going to be in one of 2 camps. You're going to listen to the prologue or read the prologue and you're going to be like, absolutely not. I cannot do this. Or you're going to be like, I have to, and I can't put this book down. And that's where I was. I could not put the book down. I did not want to believe what had happened in the prologue. And I'm like, is there going to be a way out of this? And it was pretty final. I don't know that there is a way out of it, but I have this little inkling of hope that there's a way out of it. Poor Mandy, I've given her hope, and she's like, no.
I felt like it was very final. And then I was like, oh, I see where the author's going with this. I'm going to be okay with this because normally I don't like stuff like that. I'm like, I'm going to be okay with this. And then some other things
and then the next thing happens.
And I'm like, no, this cannot be. No,
yeah,
not okay.
This is also one of those books that we say this is like the epitome of do not judge this book by its cover.
Oh,
because oh my god, like I get it. It's an indie author. It's not an extremely popular book. It has 18,000 reviews on Goodreads. It was written in 2016, so I'm sure it made the rounds in 2016.
A motorcycle with like a flower, or a motorcycle and a beach.
Just a flower works for me. It's 75. Yeah. Give me some daisies.
Yeah.
Flower child.
Gotcha. Yeah, the story is definitely, it's like told in flashback. So when we start, we're in 2000, which would be present day for the book. And then it flashes back to 75. And book 2, I'm at 69 right now.
Okay.
We flashed back and oh, it is a dark. And you have not gotten here yet, but there is a very detailed, like on page, horrific things that happened to one of the main characters growing up. And it was disturbing. It was hard to read. And it made me feel
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, the book's very emotional and it's worth the read. Don't judge it by the cover. Definitely do it. If you check your triggers, but and as far as spicy scenes go, they kind of gloss over it. It's not that, I mean, you know that things are happening. We're told things happen, but it didn't matter. Didn't matter. Didn't need it for this book. It was just that good. So yeah. Okay. Next.
Okay.
Is it my turn or your turn?
Well, that was your book, right? That's
Yes.
what you said was your book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Yes. So next I have Nice Guys Don't Win, which is The Boys #2. And this is about Cole and Zoe. Cole is the roommate and best friend from the book that I already read. So this is college romance still, and Cole is a basketball player, which plays a lot into this book because Zoe is Cole's like romantic interest for the book, but Zoe's dad was a basketball player, like in the NBA. Cole is set to go to the NBA. Her dad left her mom, and she felt very abandoned by her dad. So she's like very anti, like, I'm not getting involved with anybody who plays sports, and definitely no basketball. So she's definitely fighting this attraction. They have a super kind of cool, meet cute. Teddy is the one who introduces them. Teddy's from the book 3, which is the book that I read a long time ago, which I still absolutely love. This was a good read again. Palette cleanser, I guess you could call it, but I like these books. It's not Michaela. It's like Michaela or something. It's different. Smeltzer wrote The Confidence of Wildflowers, which I loved that first book. I absolutely hated the second book because I felt like she betrayed her characters. So when I realized that that's who these books were by, I almost didn't want to read that because I am still bitter.
You're still ticked off about that.
I am. The Confidence of Wildflowers has like some pretty horrific event that happens that's hard to read about in book 1. Book 2, though, the reason I don't like it is because I felt like her characters were like, she just completely forgot who her characters were and betrayed them. Like, I didn't like it at all because of that. I didn't feel her character's actions match the character she wrote about in book 1.
Yeah.
So, and I like still am upset about that.
Very bitter about that.
The Boys is a very great, like, easy read, college romance read. So if you're looking for that, just like where you don't want to be like overly emotionally invested, you don't want a ton of drama, you just want the basics, those books are great for that. Okay.
So my next read. On Friday, my cover to cover book box showed up, and The Kiss Thief was in it by LJ Shin, and so I had to do a reread of The Kiss Thief.
I love that cover.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It is.
So I had to do a reread of this. It's been 3 years. I read this in 2020. This is one of my very first mafia arranged marriage romances that I've ever done. So it's age gap arranged marriage. So this is about our heroine. He calls it her nemesis because they meet at a masquerade ball. But her name is, I'll look it up in a second. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but I just looked at it too. She meets Wolf Keaton. He is a senator, and he steals her first kiss. So she has been in love with Angelo her whole life. Her dad is Italian mafia. Wolf is a senator, and he has something on her father. And so he arranges for a marriage between the two of them so that he can take down her dad, basically. But all her life, she has been in love with Angelo, and she's wanted to marry Angelo. And she's thought that her father would arrange a match between her and Angelo. She's only 19, and Wolf is obviously in his 30s because he's a senator. And so this is their story. So she is forced to live with him just before the wedding, and there's all these things happen. This is one of those books where I was like, I read it in 2020 when I first started my reading journey. And I read it about the same time I was reading Callie Reed. It was one of my very first arranged marriage situations. And I was like, there's no way this book is going to be as good now as it was to me in 2020 when I first started reading. But it is still 5 stars for me. I still loved it. It still invoked all those emotions. And I was like, yeah, it is still that good. It is what I look for when I look for a mafia romance. So if you haven't read it, I know it's very popular, but if you haven't read it, definitely go read it.
I have not read it.
You need to read that one. Yeah.
I have like 74 books on my shelf that I've not read. I ordered 2 more from Amazon and picked up 2 more when I was in San Diego at the Meet Cute bookshop.
I know.
I am out of control.
I kind of feel like I should send you my paperback copy of The Kiss Thief, because 74 is kind of throwing me off. You need 75 on your book.
No, I'm at 78 now.
Like
I have 74.
You
I
need. I'm
ordered
kind of rocking here.
2
You need like
books.
80. I don't like that number.
But look at this book. Where did I put it? Darn it.
I don't know.
Oh, there was a problem when I was putting books on my bookshelf and things didn't match up right. Oh my gosh, it's missing.
No.
This is a problem.
By the way, I found my
Oh,
paper.
here it is. It's right there. Okay. Like, how could I not order this?
The book had better be good, but if not, we'll just sit and look at the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is that cover model? That is pretty.
I literally have no idea what this book is about.
You just bought it for the cover.
Totally. But I mean, did you see?
Your husband's going to be like, why is that book hanging above our bed?
Yeah. Why is your book wet? Oh my god, I was drooling. No, I moved it because I got Jennifer Hartman's book, and so then I had to put my Jennifer Hartman's together, and so then that's why I couldn't find it. Okay. And 100% honesty, I didn't realize that the side was red. Just was looking at the cover.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of got lost there. All right, let's just go on to the next book.
I was going to say something and I totally forgot. So, yeah, go ahead. Go on to your next book.
So my next book was a 5-star read. It is Lucas by Carrie Ann Cole. This is about Lucas and Ivy. Ivy is 36 and she finds out her husband, who she's been married to since she was 18. They have an 18-year-old daughter, and I think their son is like 7. She finds out that he has been cheating on her, and she is devastated, like totally devastated, didn't see it coming. And so she's going through this process, and her best friend is like, you got to get out there. Like, you need to start living for you again. And she gives her a tattoo gift certificate that she had gotten and tells her, go get that tattoo you always wanted that your husband like didn't want you to get. So she like, instead of going and getting like your typical like little butterfly or like little symbol, she decides to get like her whole leg done, like from her like upper leg all the way to the ankle. So she's going to be having a lot of tattoo appointments. And that's how she meets Lucas. Lucas is only 24, but he's kind of described as an old soul who really, he like doesn't want to go out and club and all that stuff. Like, he wants a family. He just wants to get married and have a family. And so this is him actively pursuing Ivy and trying to make Ivy feel okay about her age, make Ivy have like some self-confidence again, because her husband, of course, left her for a younger woman, and just like make Ivy feel secure in their relationship. It's really, really good. I love it. I can see, I'm in Carrie Ann Cole's like Facebook group, and a lot of people always talk about how Lucas is their favorite. I can definitely see that. He's not my favorite of her characters, but I definitely see why he is people's favorites.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read that one. That is the only Carrie Ann Cole book, I think, that I haven't read. Okay, so my next book was somewhat of a train wreck, if you ask me. So this was The Warrior's Echo. I was looking again for a good time travel romance. I need help here. People, help me. Okay, so this is about our heroine. This is Camille, it was her name. She is gifted a brooch, and she's sent to the 11th century to Vikings. And I was all excited because Vikings, yay! But no, this didn't work. It was just weird. It was just weird. I'm sorry. I give it 2.5 stars. I can't even explain it to you guys. I was so confused. And then at the end, it was just weird. It's like the third in a series. Maybe that's why it was so weird. But she's an actress, and she just accepted crap real quick. I don't care how good of an actress you are. You just don't accept stuff when you get there. They don't have toilets, for crying out loud. Or toilet paper. Or deodorant. You don't just accept it. No. Just couldn't do it. I mean, it was all right. It entertained me while I was listening to it, but I was bored quite a bit.
Okay.
I need a good time travel. I need like Surviving Trace, and we just can't find anything like Surviving Trace. I'm so bummed.
It's okay. Maybe Surviving Trace is just
It is, but I would like to have something that gives me the same kind of feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just really hard to find. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
My next book is called Second to the Right by T.S. Kensley. And this is my forced read by Jessica as
She
part
said
of our
forced.
Reverse Harem video, which will be out on Thursday. This is about Gwen, Eben, Trip, Ryder, Peter Pan, Hook. Did I forget anybody?
No, that was about it.
So it's a Peter Pan retelling. Gwen is a daughter of Wendy. She gets taken by Peter Pan to Neverland. She is her sister's caregiver, though. So her sister's at home with no caregiver. Her sister has cancer. And they don't like, because she's in Neverland, she kind of starts to forget about her sister a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As I was reading this, like, reverse harem's just not my thing. This was still a 4-star read, though. I just don't get the reverse harem. I like possessive guys who will not share. Okay, that's what I want.
They were possessive. They just shared amongst themselves.
But Peter Pan did not want to share her, and she forced him to because she's a whore.
Look. I'm sorry. Have you seen these guys? I would have forced Peter to share me with them too. I mean, not really, because I'm not that kind of girl, but
see,
fictionally, you betcha. Actually, I'd have been like, Peter who? Eben is way hotter. Captain Hook, thank you very much. Look, and then you get to Legoland and you have a pirate themed room.
I did. That was funny. I started it on the plane, and then I got to Legoland, and we were in a full pirate themed room, and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So I messaged the author and let them know they're sisters. But
so the writing was really good. I did enjoy the book. I think, okay, Jessica, here's my big confession. I'm not sure that I've ever actually watched Peter Pan. I know about Tinkerbell and all that stuff, but yeah. I don't have a memory of actually watching Peter Pan. I know.
You know, I thought your mom was perfect.
My mom really was not a big movie fan.
No. And you're like us. We weren't huge Disney people. So maybe that's why.
I love Disney.
You do now, but as a kid, you weren't. Yeah. We didn't sit and watch a bunch of Disney movies. We weren't. But no, wasn't a thing. That definitely wasn't our thing. Psycho was our thing.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. George Michael was our thing.
I was just telling somebody the other day about like how stressful it is being a kid, a teenager with like social media and all that stuff, because we can say, well, we're not going to let our kids have social media, but that's really not super feasible because it's part of so much. But, and even if your kid doesn't have social media, they're still going to be impacted by it. So anyways, I was saying how like, I'm so glad that wasn't part of my childhood growing up. And I'm like, I could just think about the crazy stuff I would have posted, like getting mad at somebody and posting. And I'm like, actually, all mine would have been like song lyrics.
All the crazy boy stuff. I still have our notes we pass to each other. You still have our notes. Could you imagine if that was on social media?
I have all, I just never got rid of them. They were in my mom's house and like storage.
Mine are up with our senior album. They're up in the attic. My kids have never seen it, thank God.
Mine are, out in the garage and storage, but I have like my notes from, I might even have them from junior high, like shoe boxes. Yeah. Because that's how you communicated.
Honestly though, as great as those are, can we lock those away? There's some things in there that I never want out. I need to get them out. I'm going to start sharing them as part of our. You should get them out and like bring them to Vegas, and we can have a good laugh in Vegas.
Jessica, who are you going to prom with? Oh,
You
okay.
know what? You laugh, but your prom date senior year was not any better.
Well, he was my boyfriend.
That did not make it better. I would admit to that. Okay. Anyhow, let's get to my next book before this gets way off the rails here. My last book is called Cursed to Be Mine. This is by Miranda Grant. This book actually comes out at the end of October, I think on October 30th, but you can actually go to her website and purchase it and download it from there for just a few dollars now and read it now. So this is a dark, paranormal, stalker romance, I guess is the best way to describe it. We have vampires, werewolves, and witches. They're kind of in their own gang situation. And then we have the humans who don't even know that they exist, but they have a supernatural group that kind of fights them. And we have our hero who purchases the house next door to our heroine because he is obsessed with her. And at night he puts a spell on her and he goes into his room or her room, and he doesn't fully penetrate, but he does things to her. And he starts this blood bond with her so that she will be protected by him. And then, when she wakes up in the morning, he's gone. And that kind of starts their relationship. And things go from there with them. She's a part of this group that kind of hunts them. So here's the deal. If you get this book is good. I gave it 5 stars. I was really surprised. Personally, I will read books with werewolves and vampires. I don't tend to do like the witches, the demons, and things. Just a personal thing. I just doesn't normally do it for me. This book was great. I loved it. But here's the caveat. And I had to go to Goodreads to find this out because I almost DNF'd this book several times in the first part. Get past chapter 13. Whatever you do, trust me. What's happening in the first part of the book is not what you think, and you just have to get past chapter 13. It will all make sense, and the shaming and the mean things that you're seeing will make a lot of sense. So if you do it, you just have to promise me to get past chapter 13 and not DNF it before then, because you'll be shocked, and it will make it all worth it. I promise. It was very hard, the first half of the book.
Yes. Should we count how many phone calls and Marco Polos I got about this book? Again, while I was on vacation with my family.
Mm-hmm. I was appalled. I would message her and be like, I can't do this book. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. And I was so mad throughout that first half of that book. I was so ticked off, but I was like, everybody's raving about this. And I can't see them raving about this if this is how this is going to be. I don't get it. And then it happened. Then I went to Goodreads and somebody said, just get past chapter 13. So I was like, all right, fine. And I did that. And I was so glad I did, because chapter 14 started and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Awesome. This has got all the kinks. It's got the breeding kink. It's got all the good stuff. I mean, the man bites her birth control out of her arm. That was hot. Hot.
Oh, and folks,
hot.
It's not the first time I've heard that story.
No, that was hot. Anyhow, it's so good.
Okay.
Well, yours.
My next book is my 5-star read that went on my favorites, and this is Talon by Carrie Ann Cole. This is about Talon and Asia. Talon is a rock star in the band Ashes and Embers, but he is like described as your typical rock star. He likes blondes, big boobs, all this, and he parties a lot. And he is actually nicknamed the cock star because of his big penis, which normally I find that kind of stuff like but this it actually worked to play up his ego, so you kind of understood more of who he was. But deep down, Talon is tired of this. He wants to get married and like just find the one. Asia has like no family. She kind of has a sad story, but you don't pity her because she's really just like, life keeps knocking her down and she just keeps going. Like, she's a very strong heroine. So she is just kind of working hard, trying to get through life. And she has not had much success in the dating world. And they both end up through various means applying to be a part of this social experiment. It's not for TV or anything like that. So it's privately done where they are going to be matched with like their perfect person. And they meet the first time when they get married, and they have to stay married for 6 months. And then afterwards, they can decide what they want to do. So I was like, ooh, this sounds so great. But what I absolutely loved about this, and this happens at the very beginning, so it's not a spoiler, is that Talon is not like at all what Asia said she wanted in a person. And she's like pissed. She's like, I went through months of these interviews and this is what they gave me. And Talon feels the same way about Asia, but they both kind of want to try and make things work, even though they're basically super disappointed in who they got. And I absolutely just love that because a lot of times, like when you read Cora Riley's arranged marriages, like Luca and Arya, for example, Luca's hot. So Arya is not like repulsed by him. And she wants to try and make their marriage work. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, she's like, I didn't want somebody with long hair. I wanted clean cut, goes to his 9 to 5 job and comes home and is a family guy. And instead, I get the cock star. What? Like, I just loved it so much. It was so great. And
So-
man, I'm very excited to read the final book, which is actually my final Carrie Ann Cole book, which is Asher. But you know what, Jessica, I was noticing at the end of Talon's book, she has a list of like future planned books for this universe. And there's a whole bunch that she hasn't written. And as far as I can tell, she's like hasn't gone back to this universe in a while. And her new book coming out is completely like a standalone, new characters, everything.
Sometimes the inspiration is there.
Well, I'm just wondering, have you seen anything of her saying like she's done with this world? Like, does she still have these plans to go back?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Obviously. So my thing is, when she was writing this book, you know, she was sitting around watching Are You the One? Have you watched that?
No, I've never even heard of it.
That is exactly what this is, except it's not on TV. They go to interviews, they meet at the altar after they're matched, and they have to stay married for a certain amount of time. And then they can choose to get divorced or stay together.
Huh. Yeah. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. You know, Carrie Ann Cole went through a binge phase of watching Are You the One? All right, guys. So that is what we have for you this week.
Make sure to check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.